And welcome to Thursday, October 26th edition of Knee Club. I'm Bill Paravano, the knee pain guru. Got some good stuff we're going to get into today, just based on kind of how things are going with the different members, the questions they send in. I get a sense for what everyone's kind of getting and picking up and where there's little gaps. And I'm going to make those distinctions and nuances today to continue to help you move forward in terms of, one, getting you out of pain, two, increasing your activity and mobility, and three, getting you back to your life where that you want to live when you're not thinking about knee pain. Okay, let's see. I'm going to share my screen here. And you should be able to see Knee Club training for, this is training number 16 for October 26th, 2017. Of those people who are here, who would like to share any victories that you've had? I would really appreciate, because it's good to share your victories, what you have noticed, what has improved, and please raise your hand. Go ahead and raise your hand, and like what you've noticed, anything that's changed. You've been out of pain for an afternoon, a couple of days, whatever it is. One of the other programs that I'm working with, we had someone who's been out of pain for, I believe it was 6 days out of this past week, which is pretty awesome. So if you'd raise your hand, I'd love it if you would share any victories that you've had, what you noticed, what insights you've had, things like that. And nobody's sharing. Okay, I get it. Okay, well, we're going to go on to this week's training then. I'll get those victories out of you when we talk. That's consequently what happens. So this week's training is called Bridging the Gap. And here is a quote that I received when I did my bodywork training. I did my instructor training back in 2006, 2007. There was one of my teachers, my mentors, her name was Darlene Smith. She had given me this plaque that had this quote on it. And the quote is, "The jump is so frightening between where I am and where I want to be. Because of all I may become, I will close my eyes and leap." Marianne Radmacher. And it really ties into what we're going to talk about today in terms of the common mistakes. Is that we have these, they're kind of paradoxes, they're conflicting things that'll be in our head when we're trying to get out of knee pain, where it's like, I got to do something to make things happen, yet what I'm doing to make things happen is actually making things worse. So I'm not really sure what to do to make things happen. So it's like this confusing place to be in that actually creates setbacks, because what we're focusing on is actually setting us back, and what we need to focus on isn't even in our awareness. It kind of sits in a blind spot. So I want to point out some of the setbacks that many of the clients that I've worked with have run into. And one of the setbacks that I see that has been happening has been around starting exercise too early. And there's an excitement, believe me. As soon as I got out of pain back after my surgery, did the physical therapy, I wanted to get back into physical activity as soon as possible. And what happened was, there was a lot of things that I was doing that was actually putting my body back into pain. And I didn't know what to do or how to do it that would actually prevent my body from getting back into pain. And part of it was I would test too early. meaning I would, for instance, I would, as soon as I got out of physical therapy and I got my knee brace, I wanted to immediately go back to judo. But I wasn't nearly in the physical or mental space to actually handle going back to judo. So it's like I would not do any activity and then I would jump right back into judo. And judo would get me injured again, and then I wouldn't be doing any physical activity. And I know judo isn't your thing. However, there's an incremental place that we need to begin to look at between not doing anything and doing physical activity again. And one of the ways that I began to understand how to gauge whether or not to go back into the physical activity was listening to my internal state, listening to the voice inside of me that was kind of giving me like, oh, I think it's gonna hurt. I think I'm going to have problems if I go do that. There's almost a part of us that knows beforehand that we're going to have problems if we do this thing, whatever that thing is. Go on the hike, go swimming, riding the bicycle, go running. There's that thing that's out there that if we do that, we know we're going to be back in pain. There's almost a part of us that intuitively knows that's going to happen. And what I'm proposing is, in this gap of us working on the pain pattern interrupts and getting into more stretching and mobility work to build up the confidence, we begin to quiet that internal state, that little voice, or that fear begins to go away, because we're doing these incremental things that are teaching us how to get out of pain. We're developing the skill to get out of pain, as well as building the confidence to increase our physical activity more and more. So instead of it being like this big jump, this big leap from not doing anything to back into those activities that we're trying to get back to, we're going to do this slow on-ramp that is going to get us back to that place of being out of pain and doing all of those physical activities that we want to do. So the first tiny step in this slow on-ramp is mastering the pain pattern interrupts. Starting to feel and gain that sensitivity and awareness of what needs to happen when your knee hurts. Developing that skill of getting the pressure off of the nerves in the knee. And also knowing which pain pattern interrupts, we're over here now, knowing which pain pattern interrupts that are actually going to get you out of pain. Meaning, if your knee hurts on the inside right at the knee joint, then you're going to know that Module 40, the meniscus stretch, is going to get your knee out of pain at that place. If it's that same place below the knee joint, then you're going to know that Module 3 in the pain pattern interrupt section is going to address that spot inside below the knee. And it's developing like your short list of go-to pain pattern interrupts whenever your knee bothers you. So mastering the pain pattern interrupts is going to be your first tiny step. Then get the diet and the mindset in a good place, that you're going to be eating foods that are going to reduce inflammation in your body. You're going to be eliminating foods that are increasing inflammation in your body. And you're also going to make sure that your mind is in a good place, that if you get back into pain, that your confidence is being built doing the pain pattern interrupts to know that you're going to get yourself out of pain. So your mind's in a good place to be able to, you're reinforcing those patterns, that you're building that confidence in this on-ramp. The next small step would be moving on to active stretching. And that's stretching the muscles, working with the hamstrings, the quadriceps, the calves, the hip flexors, working those gently And that's going to be in the active stretching section in that on-ramp. That's the next tiny step. The next step after that is mobility. So now we've taken this static stretch and now we're doing it actively, testing our mobility, getting our body stretched out, getting it more in line with gravity so our body's not fighting what's going on. And then after the mobility, we get comfortable with mobility, the next tiny step is beginning to exercise. And exercise in a very intentional way where we're building up the tendon and ligament strength in the knee joint itself. And what that's going to do is once we're out of pain, once we've got getting the body mobile and loose, then we want to strengthen the body in that new good place. We want to build the tendon and ligament strength, which is very different than building muscular strength in the joint itself. And when we do that, what ends up happening is we lock the knee joint into this solid, strong place that's also mobile and flexible. So this is systematically moving you back to your physical activity. And in that place where we have the body stretched and flexible and mobile and strong, now when you go back to your physical activities, skiing, biking, hiking, running, whatever that is, now you can test the body, test little bits. I'm going to try running just for maybe 100 yards or 100 meters and see how that goes. Maybe I'll go for a bike ride just for 5-10 minutes and see how that goes. Because if that activity causes you pain, you already have the solid foundation to get yourself back out of pain again. So gradually testing, it's moving you closer and closer and closer to the activity that you want to do. The next, let's see. So that really sets up the keys for success of what we're talking about here. Is you can see that in that gap between not doing anything and back into your active lifestyle, we're doing these incremental steps that is getting you to that place of your life like you were living before you got your knee injured. So that is that's the training for today. Those are the training that we're going to cover. Remember, magnesium oil, that is just phenomenal stuff. You can get that in the members area. Here, let me get over here. Go here, let's see. Go to the dashboard, and you go right down to the bottom to the supplements list. I just can't say enough about magnesium, the Ease Magnesium right here. It's just amazing. I try to get as much magnesium on my skin throughout the day anymore. And this is not just because my legs are tight or my body's in pain. I'm just realizing it helps sleep, it helps my mood, it helps my energy, it helps everything all the way around. So I'm just really promoting magnesium right now. It's just phenomenal stuff. Okay. Now we're going to get to questions. If you have questions, would you please raise your hand? And while I'm waiting for hands to be raised, I have some, let's see. We're done the live Q&A right now. So I have some questions here. Let me see, I'm just going to take that off for a second. Question here is one of our members fell. They didn't say who they were, but they had fallen and pretty banged up, pretty good, and looking for like a strategy because they're not able to do the pain pattern interrupts that they've been to work with their knees. So they're having issues with the feet and the ankles. They're having problems. And I'd like to address this both from an acute standpoint and a chronic standpoint. So one of our members fell in while they were shopping and fell on a tile floor and banged themselves up pretty good. They're applying arnica gel to the painful spots at various intervals throughout the day. I would also point in the direction of magnesium, both taking magnesium as well as putting it on topically. That's going to begin to rest those areas that are painful and sore. That's going to be very helpful. Don't worry so much about the pain pattern interrupts at this point. We just want to set up the conditions so the body can heal. So the arnica, they're doing arnica on there. I would take arnica. If this was me, this is what I would do. Arnica, taking it sublingually. I would also put it on topically. I would put the magnesium, taking it in the liquid or tablets, as well as put the magnesium on the body topically. That's going to, the arnica is going to help the swelling and the bruising and all that process faster. The magnesium in general is going to let the body relax so the body can integrate what's going on. Do what pain pattern interrupts you can without causing more pain. So if you can't reach your knees or your feet or whatever it is, then just put those on the side. Put those on the side for the moment. Ice is good as long as it's not causing more pain. So they're dealing with some ankles and feet being swollen. So this is what I would do if I were them. And this is called a slant board. The slant board just means the feet are about 10 degrees. I want to make sure you're seeing, I'm demonstrating this on the, okay. So feet here, head here. You would want your feet just slightly above, 10 degrees, small amount. And what that's going to do is that's going to start taking the pressure off of all the swelling that's going down into your feet. And I've done this in bed, or you could do it with a massage table. You could put a couple of towels underneath one end of the feet of the massage table. You could also do the same thing in bed. If you have a bed that you're able to lift up and put a couple of books underneath the feet of the foot of the bed and just lay in bed. So your feet are up just slightly. And what that's going to do is that's going to start taking pressure off of everything that's flowing down into your feet. And it's also going to promote healing as far as the swelling and all that goes. There's another thing that I'd like to address. One thing I'd like to address, and this is a common occurrence with members, and I did this myself, and I would also do some mindset work around this in terms of what life would look like if you didn't have pain. Because sometimes when we have breakthroughs, when we get this insight, I get this insight about my knees or my body or something like that, and then immediately would go out and do something that would actually put me in pain again. And the best thing I could point my finger towards what it was about, like deserving to be out of pain. And there was a part of my brain that was like, I don't think I deserve to be out of pain. Like there was some self-abuse thing that I got in my head that it's like, oh, I just couldn't be content with being out of pain. I would create a situation, a scenario, or something that would actually put my body back into pain. And if I wasn't doing it physically, I was doing it in relationships. I would create some sort of conflict or some sort of, what would you call it? Argument. It was silly things. Like I say it now, I look back on my life and how it used to be, I'm like, oh, gosh, I couldn't believe I was doing it. Yet, if I zoomed out far enough, I was like, oh, look what I was doing up to that point, that I started making things up in my head. Just something to maybe journal on a little bit, do some of the mindset work, verbalizing the frustration, upset. I know the emotions that come up, or the emotion that came up when I was injured and hurt, wouldn't come up any other time. And it's a great opportunity to use those emotions that are coming up as a way to get that stuff up and out. So I'd like to encourage the perspective for everyone on the call, everyone listening to the replay, to look at that. If you get out of pain, if you do a pain pattern interrupt and you go right back out and go run 10 miles or do something you haven't done in a very long time, look at that deserving piece. Do you feel like you deserve to be out of pain, or you're doing stuff to put you back into pain? Just something to consider. In that case, if you do find that out, be really gentle with yourself. Like, don't kick your butt because you find this out or you realize this. It's just time to just kind of like sit and let those emotions come up and come out, journal on them, and just let that stuff move out, because it'll serve you 10 times, 100 times better allowing in that space instead of beating yourself up. And if there's any questions that come out of that, absolutely. Ask me. Okay. Let's see. Irene has a question. I'm going to unmute Irene. And there she is. Hello, Irene.
Hi.
Hi there. How are you?
Not bad, thank you.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah. I sent the email. Yeah.
Have any victories this week?
Well, I've sent the email. Have you seen it?
Okay. You've been doing the pain pattern interrupts as directed, 22 and 23, morning and evening, 1, 2, 3, 40, and 6A, 4 or 5 times a day, 14, 15, 17, 18, and 19 is needed. Pain on the inside of knee joint when been walking around 10 minutes, and now generally aching from knee down into foot. Okay. So the knee is only bothering you when you're walking, then. Do I understand this correctly?
Well, that's right, yes. It's been fine today. I haven't been out today.
Okay.
And it's fine today.
Was the knee bothering you when you would just sit there before?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's mostly when I've been walking a little while, it comes on. And when I walk upstairs, it's there immediately.
Okay.
The first step hurts, if I'm going up the stairs.
Okay.
I've been concentrating a little bit longer on 3 and 6A, as you suggested last week.
And you've been feeling a difference with those?
Well, like I say, I can't feel anything when I'm just sat down anyway, so...
Did we talk about a couple of weeks ago that you would figure out where it hurt when you were standing or walking, and then you would sit down and work on that same spot?
Yes, well, it's just in the knee joint, I think, or just below.
Right, but when you found that spot when you were standing and you went and worked with Module 3 and 6A with that, were you noticing a difference or a change?
Well, it comes on again when I've been on my feet a little while.
Okay, Irene.
Now, the thing is, with the 6A, I'm just a bit frightened of it, because when I'm doing it, I can feel some scrunching going on, like the bones are scrunching about.
Okay.
So, am I pressing too hard?
You may be. What we're looking for is comfort in that space.
It doesn't particularly hurt, it's just I can feel the bones kind of moving around. So and that's where the pain is as well. I mean, that's it. Where the pain is, where the scrunching is.
Okay. And when you do 3 and 6A, are you getting relief? Like, are you feeling there's a bunch of cues that we've talked about in terms of heat in that area, cold in that area, body parts twitching, your mind wandering, your breath changing. Those are all different cues to notice while you're doing the pain pattern interrupt in that area.
I haven't really noticed. Sorry.
Well, no, Irene, this is not like, it's not a bad or good thing whether you've noticed. What we're doing is I'm coming from a place of having been in knee pain, been out of knee pain, been back in knee pain, been out of knee pain, and I know like all these little nuances, all the little places that the mind can trick us or we may not understand. And I'm asking you these questions as a way to like bring your spotlight in your mind to that area that you may not have noticed or thought about or considered. And this is when we bring your awareness to this place, this kind of like starts to percolate in your brain. So now when you go forward from this call, you're going to be like, oh, I didn't think about that. Look it's doing that thing that Bill was talking about. Just like, have you noticed the new red Volkswagen Beetle they have out? And you're like, no, Bill, haven't noticed any. And then over the next week, you see 5 of them. And it's because I said, Irene, have you noticed the red Volkswagen Beetle, that your brain starts looking for the Volkswagen Beetle. And this is the same thing when I'm asking you these questions about your knee. It's about, Irene, have you noticed these cues in your nervous system? Have you noticed that the pain moves even just a little bit? Have you noticed instead of the pain being when you push off, now it's when you're stepping? These are all little like nuanced things that give me like the foot in the door where I can go, okay, we need to change the pain pattern interrupt you're doing to get it more exact what's going on. Is this making sense?
Oh, it does, but I'm sorry, I can't really give you any
Irene,
more clues. Only the scrunching, that is really noticeable.
got it. Cool.
And I'm kind of frightened of it, you know. I'm thinking, oh, because I have had it in the past, I've had it swollen, and I'm frightened of setting myself back with that, you know, really.
Okay.
I've still been doing it, but I've been quite trying to find a spot that it didn't actually do that, you know.
If
a
it's
position.
Right. So there's a couple of things. One, we don't want to cause any pain while you're doing the pain pattern interrupts. Okay? So if you need to go gentler, perfectly fine. And gentle, it gets actually a lot done in terms of getting the scrunching or whatever to go away. Going gentle, not causing any pain. Another thing we can do is you can also work with module 45 in the pain pattern interrupt section. Module 45, scar tissue and specific pain point work.
Okay.
That's really gentle, super gentle. And you may want to try it in that spot as well as module 3 and 6A.
Okay, thank you.
But what I want you to pay attention to this week, and what it would really be high leverage for you the next time we talk, is noticing those cues in the nervous system. And if you have questions about that, rewatch, I think it's the March 2nd Knee Club recording.
Yes.
I go over all the different cues. all the different cues that can be presented in the body. But just noticing that is going to be incredibly helpful in terms of getting to see where we're at, to get some leverage moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yes.
And I also want to give you one more to do while you're walking. If I haven't given you this one already, is module 39, the stutter step.
Okay. No, I haven't done that one.
Okay, that would be while you're walking, and let's see if that helps.
Mm-hmm. The thing I noticed what's changed is when the pains come on. Like yesterday, I went shopping and I was okay for 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. And like you were saying before, you're expecting the pain to come, and it did.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it had been hurting in the place where it hurts, the old leg, knee down started aching. And I couldn't really pinpoint where it was. It was kind of all aching, and my foot.
In your foot?
In my foot, yes, as well as all the way down my leg. I can't really pinpoint whether it was back or front. It was just an achy feeling.
Okay.
But that's all new. I didn't have that before.
Okay.
I've had it in my foot before, but not all down the leg.
Okay.
So that's like it's gone worse, isn't it? But like you said, it's probably moving.
It is moving. It is moving. And it seems like counterintuitive that because it hurts worse, it's actually getting better. But the process of, I know, stick with me on this one. Believe me, I've walked thousands of people through like this, is that what we're doing is we create comfort in the next place. So if it hurt down your shin, then I'd like you to do, it was down your shin, is that correct?
Well, it seemed to be pretty general all over. But when I rested up, came home and sat down for a little while, it kind of went back okay again, like it does when I'm not doing anything really, you know. Got up and walked around after in the house, and I was fine.
Okay, then
Just a bit delicate, but you know, fine this morning when I got up. Back to normal, okay, till I start trying to do anything really, going out anywhere, and it's been all right today because I haven't been doing anything much, only pottering around.
I'd also like you to do module 42, the skin twist.
Okay.
And work from your knee all the way down to your ankle. And let's see if that helps your walking.
Yeah. Oh, okay, thank you. Now, these ones I'm going to be doing, these new ones, do I continue doing the 1, 2, 40 as well?
And this kind of ties in with what we were, the teaching. Does 1, 2, 40, do those give you relief in your knee in those areas?
I can't tell you, can I? Because it doesn't hurt when I'm doing them. There's nothing happening when I'm doing them. It's just when I'm walking it comes on.
Okay. Well, then let's just focus on 3, 6A. And those other ones I gave you today.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind doing the 1 and 2 and the 40. It's no problem. I feel like maybe, you know, when you press your leg against the sofa, you say, I do it with my hand actually, and press the other hand on my knee in opposite directions. I feel like that does perhaps help, like more or less lining things up a bit, you know.
Okay. And that was what I was getting at. If you feel relief when you do those, and you could just check them real quick. You could run through those real quick. If they give you relief, then absolutely do them. They're helping you. But what I don't want it to be is this big laundry list of, oh my gosh, I have 20 pain pattern interrupts to do every day.
Well, that's why these other ones that you gave me before, when I said my foot was hurting under the instep a few weeks ago, If it does get bad, I sit and I kind of do it while I'm watching telly and all that. Give my feet a kind of a massage and a squeeze. But I don't do it every day. I just do it when it's got kind of bothering me badly. That.
And it gives you relief.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. See, there's a win. I knew we'd get one.
Yeah. I'm just reading what I've written down here. If there's anything else I want to just ask you. Yeah. So when you said last time, concentrate a little bit longer on 3 and 6A, what, 2 minutes or longer?
Well, I want you to notice those cues. That it's not the length of time as much for you right now as noticing those cues. Yawning, breath, mind wandering, heat, cold, relaxation, something, some cue in your nervous system that's going to give an indication that a change has taken place in the knee.
Right, you are. Okay, thank you very much.
Nice job, Irene.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
Bye. Okay, let's see. Billy. Billy, do you have a question?
Oh no, I'm just wondering, is the East Magnesium the same as the magnesium chloride spray that I bought from a health store?
You'd have to check on there. Let's see. Let's look here. My dashboard. What type of spray is it?
It's magnesium chloride, not just magnesium. So I wonder if they're the same. They say it's for muscle. So what you're showing there is just magnesium, right? No chloride in there. So it's different.
Let's see. Magnesium chloride.
So it is the same. Okay.
Looks to be. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Oh wait a minute. You absorb. Oh, it's a special infusion of the purest intelligent magnesium chloride hexchlorate IMCH. It's not to be confused with standard magnesium chloride products on the market that have very therapeutic effect. So it's stating that it is magnesium chloride, but they've done something with the water molecules here. This is evident when you put the two different types of magnesium in an open container side by side. IMCH will actually absorb water from the ambient air and melt into a pool of water. Contact your skin, the same thing happens, though much quicker because of the high water content of the human body. You absorb IMCH much easier than magnesium chloride. By contrast, magnesium chloride will not dissolve if exposed to air. So it's similar but not the same.
Okay. So in terms of the degree of absorption, so the body probably can absorb better with this particular formula.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yep. And I like personally, it doesn't matter how well it absorbs. I feel that sticky feeling like I just got out of the ocean. When I put it,
mine is sticky too.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll take a shower or do something like that, wash it off afterwards because I like that sticky feeling. But I put a ton on, and it's not just I literally coat my body. I'll put it on my shoulders and chest, my back, hamstrings especially. My hamstrings tend to get real tight, and calves. So I do that and multiple times per day. I'm kind of in this experimental phase where I'm just trying to see what my body will do the more magnesium I get into it. just to share with everybody, I tried Epsom salts. Epsom salts are for soaking your feet in. You can get magnesium through your feet with Epsom salts, which helps relax the body. And I tried, you can mix the Epsom salts with some warm water, and was trying to try that instead of Natural Calm, and it worked, but my belly didn't feel so great. So I wouldn't point anyone in that direction. So all of these things that I share with everybody on these calls, I've kind of experimented on myself to see how it works. So I won't point you towards anything that I haven't already tried extensively to see the benefit from it. Is that helpful, Billy?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay. Did you have any other questions?
No, not now.
Okay. Well, great. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your question. Now I'm going to mute you out. Okay, let's get back to syllabus here. We did the live Q&A. We covered the questions that were sent in. Our next call is going to be, actually, I think it's going to be November 10th. I just got notifications. So this will be Friday. I'll put this in here, Friday, November 10th. We had to change that. I have something going on that is not going to be able to be moved. So I'll let everybody know. We'll be sending out emails to let everybody know to register for the call beforehand. So this will be Friday, November 10th at 12 noon Eastern time is the next Knee Club call. For those that are listening to the replay and you would like to send in your questions, you weren't available to make the call for whatever reason, you have something going on, you need some help and support, please feel free to send those in to put in the subject line Knee Club and put in send that email to customerservice@thekneepainguru.com. So you can also do that. I will answer the questions like I did with the members on the call today, and I will answer those. This call, all the calls are recorded, so if you can't make the call, you send in your questions, I'll answer the questions, you can watch the replay. So this is Bill Paravano. We're going to wrap it up for today. Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for allowing me to be of service. I really, it's exciting for me when you get an insight into your knees and into your body, what I can share in terms of helping you improve your life. So thank you so much for allowing me to be of service. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of the week.